Richard Hammond, a man who's driven Bugattis for breakfast, just lost his composure over a Chinese family SUV. Here's the thing about Richard Hammond. He is not easy to impress. This is a guy who spent 2 decades on Top Gear driving machinery that costs more than most people's houses. So when he walks into Leapmotor's factory in China and the footage shows him visibly struggling to keep a straight face, that means something. I think that reaction alone is worth unpacking before we even get to the spec sheet. Leapmotor invited Hammond for an immersive factory visit, and by all accounts it was his first serious look inside a major Chinese automotive plant. What he found was a vertically integrated operation. Leapmotor designs and manufactures a huge proportion of its own components in-house, which is genuinely unusual even by Chinese EV standards. The supply chain is tight, the automation is dense, and the production line apparently includes some kind of automated storage and retrieval system that Hammond found quietly mind-bending. I'll be honest, I can't tell you exactly how that system works from what's been shared publicly, so take that detail with a small grain of salt. But the overall impression Hammond came away with was clear. This is not a scrappy startup bolting parts together. This is a serious industrial operation. For context, Leapmotor is now partly owned by Stellantis, the group behind Jeep, Peugeot, and Fiat, so there's real Western money and distribution muscle behind this brand. That's the reason Hammond was there, and that's the reason Western audiences should care. Now let's talk about the actual car, because the D19 is Leapmotor's flagship, and the chassis is where the engineers clearly decided to make a statement. The D19 runs a 1,000-volt high-voltage electrical architecture. That's the same voltage tier you find in the Porsche Taycan and the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Cars that cost dramatically more and are celebrated in Western media for exactly that feature. At 1,000 volts, charging speeds become genuinely rapid, and thermal management gets more efficient. I'd argue this is the single most important number in the D19 spec sheet, because it signals that Leapmotor isn't building a budget appliance. They're engineering at the top of the technical stack. Then there's the chassis setup itself, which Hammond apparently spent real time examining up close. The sources describe it as a kind of chassis black technology, which I know sounds like marketing speak, but the underlying point seems to be that the suspension geometry and structural engineering are calibrated well above what you'd expect at this price point. Now, I haven't driven the D19 myself, so I'm working from Hammond's reaction and the factory footage here. But when a man who regularly compares ride quality for a living starts paying close attention to how a family SUV is put together underneath, that's a signal worth taking seriously. And then there's the interior, genuine 7-seat capacity, not the fake third-row shuffle you get in a lot of crossovers. Think of it like a properly sized alternative to a BMW X7 or a Mercedes GLS. Except, if Leapmotor prices this the way they've priced their other models, it'll cost considerably less. I want to step back and say something that might be slightly uncomfortable. I think the marketing strategy here is genuinely clever, and I think it's going to work. Leapmotor didn't hire a social media influencer or a Chinese automotive journalist to showcase the D19. They brought in Richard Hammond, someone whose credibility with Western car buyers is essentially preloaded. When Hammond reacts with surprise and respect, Western audiences process that differently than they would a polished brand advertisement. That's not an accident. That's Leapmotor, and probably Stellantis behind the scenes, understanding exactly how Western automotive culture works and using it. Now, I'll admit I underestimated this approach when Leapmotor first announced the Stellantis partnership. I thought the distribution deal was the main play. I was wrong. The softer cultural strategy, getting credible Western voices physically inside Chinese factories and behind the wheels of Chinese cars, might actually be the more powerful move long-term. It chips away at the perception gap that still exists in Europe and North America, where a lot of buyers simply don't believe Chinese EVs can compete at the premium end. The question I can't fully answer yet is pricing. The Bilibili comments are full of Chinese viewers asking what the D19 should cost, which suggests even the domestic audience doesn't have a firm number yet. If Leapmotor prices this at the equivalent of a mid-spec BMW X5 or below, the D19 becomes a very difficult car to dismiss. If they overshoot trying to chase a luxury badge, the whole argument falls apart. I think they're smart enough not to do that, but we'll see. What Hammond's visit ultimately represents is a new phase for Chinese EV brands. Not just building competitive cars, but actively dismantling the cultural skepticism that's kept them out of Western garages. And I'd argue the D19 is a genuinely strong vehicle to make that case with. If you think Hammond was genuinely impressed or just doing a paid promo job, tell me in the comments. I want to know where you land on that. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we cover Chinese EVs with the same level of scrutiny we'd give any European or American brand. No hype, no dismissal, just the actual story.